Good morning. Thanks for joining us if you are watching us live or even if you're watching us on replay. Today we're going to be drawing this lovely picture of a horse. So if you've been following us this term, you know that we've been concentrating on domestic animals, pets. So if anyone does have a pet horse, feel free to share that info. If anyone is watching live, if you can just give us a wave hello so that we know that everything's working okay as well before I start, that'd be great. I'll give it another minute or so just for people to turn up. Hi from Lila. Oh, brilliant. So I'm assuming that means we're all good to go. So yeah, Michael's with me again today. So we're going to be drawing. He's going to be drawing along with us and sharing his work as well. And just a reminder as well that you don't have to do things exactly as I'm doing them. This isn't really a step-by-step how to draw this horse. This is how I'm drawing my horse. You're free to do the same, or you can use your own techniques, or you can draw it in a completely different way. What might be fun, if anyone's wondering how they can make their picture a bit different or creative, is if you change the colours or the markings on the horse. But yeah, we'll start off, as I always do, just with a normal HB pencil, and I'm just going to sketch the outline, and then we'll start adding the colours after. So once again, don't feel like you've got to keep up with me. I sketch quickly because that's just the way I work, really. I think it's more that I get bored too quickly if I'm working on something for too long. So I'm going to start off, as I always do, trying to plot in the eye. And what I feel like I might do with this picture is struggle to get all the head proportions in. So we'll get going and see what happens. If I have to start again, I have to start again. Was it last week I did that? Yeah. Or the week before on the guinea pig? I did the guinea pig too big. So I'm going to start sort of slightly over to the right hand side, higher up on the page with his eye. And it's quite a nice clear photo of his eye as well, so we'll be able to get some of the detail in. You can even see his eyelashes, or she, who knows? It could be a mare. And the other thing I'm going to change about my image is I'm not going to add in his, is this called the bridle, the head reins? I'm going to remove that from my illustration, so it's just a picture of the horse. Lots of people with us. So hi Emily, Freya, hi Melissa, Gemma, Hannah, Kate, Jen. I'm aware again, I know I'm saying the parents' name, not necessarily the learners, but hello to everyone there. Thanks for joining. Okay, so that's not a bad start for the eye. So I'm going to now plot across to the other side, roughly where I think you can't even see the eye, but you can sort of see the eyebrow, the structure of the eyebrow. And then we've got to go down into the nose. So if I sort of plot where I think the nostril will be, it's got quite big nostrils, you can see. And it's the same on the other side of the, you can't see the nostril, but you can see the shape of it, where it would be. And then sketching his mouth. My image sort of crops out his chin, so I'm going to have to kind of guess what that would look like. And he's got a nice big lower part of his skull here, so I want to emphasize that. I have a feeling I need to make my eye bigger already, so I think the proportions of the draw and everything else need the eye to be bigger, and perhaps now lower down, that'll look at it. I might redo that eye. Funny really when it's the first thing I started with. The first thing to go. That's a bit better. And you've got fringe coming over. I know what I've done. I'm trying to, I've worked too far up on the page, so I'm trying to squeeze the ears in, which isn't going to work. The ears would start there, so I'm not going to be able to squeeze my ear in, which is a shame because that's quite a nice feature. Hopefully you're doing better than me. And then the other ear. You can see the mane coming down here as well. Okay. Not great, only because I've chopped his ears off. So that's just where I've not positioned on the page very well. But I'm not going to restart it because I think it just takes too long. Hi. Oh, it is Erin, not Kate. I thought so. I went to say that and then stopped myself. How are you getting on, Michael?
I've already had to rub most of it out.
So I'm going to draw in his little white stripe going down his nose. I'm just sketching the hair so I remember that it's there when I'm shading. And he's got a little white patch on his nose as well, the end of his nose. And what I want to try and do, when you look at the image, there's lots of really sort of clear lines. So you can see these angles on his, what would be the skull, I guess. So I want to try and draw them in and keep that sort of emphasis as well. So you can see that clear form on his skull, should we say, his face. I'm going to sketch those lines and shadows in. And I'm going to come back to the eye to get some of the more details into the eye as well. Hi from Pi. Thanks for joining us again, Pi. So has anyone watching got a pet horse or goes riding, perhaps? I'm sketching in the white highlight that you can see on his eye as well, just so that when I'm shading, I know not to shade that bit, so you can see the reflection in his eye. Not happy with his pupil though. Oh, lots of messages have cropped up. I missed that. Okay. So Bailey's got a horse. My sister has both. Is that horse or ponies? My auntie has a 20-year-old horse. Daisy, I started riding. Bailey, I do riding. My desk is full of art stuff and there's no room for my iPad, my laptop and my art stuff. I know it's a mission, isn't it? Sometimes you should see when I set up for these, I have to clear my desk off because it normally isn't this clear and empty to make room for all my stuff as well. Bailey, we've got two actually. Sage, sorry. Wow. So Michael we don't have horses. So what was his nanny had a horse and two ponies. She has passed away, unfortunately, but we still help. Well, the boys help look after the horses and ponies still. So the two ponies are called Max and Drum, and they're like little Shetland ponies. I think they're even smaller than that. I'm not sure what type they are. And then there's Blaze, and she's a great big horse. She's a Welsh cob, and they're quite big horses. She's very slow moving though. She just sort of plods along. Okay, I'm going to, like I always do, go in with the eye first of all.
I've not even done much.
If you're still sketching, that's cool. Just take your time. I know that if I carry on work on this, I'll probably change things too much and then it won't look like a horse anymore. So I have to get straight to it. I think you can overwork things sometimes. You can overthink it. Once again, because I'm using watercolours, I don't have to be too precious about the way I shade because I can mix and blend with the water once I'm ready. I'm going with a dark brown, so he's got a big pupil, but a really big dark brown eye. I think I made the highlight too big now that I look at the picture again. So I'm going to open it up because it's almost made his eye look sleepy. You happy now, Michael?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth spending that with a bit more time on the form and getting the drawing right first of all, just so that you're more happy with when you start working on it. And you can see his eyelashes on this image. So I'm going to draw them in. They're almost like a gingery colour. And then you can even see part of his eyelid as well. So I'm going to try and get all those details in. Did you know that horses can sleep standing up? Yes, I did. I was just reading up some horse facts, and I did know that. But yes, that's very cool. It must be presumably to keep them safer. So because they're prey animals rather than predator animals, they need to be able to move quickly, don't they? I know that they live roughly between 25 and 30 years. Although the world's oldest horse was something like 60, I think, when he died. And I know that they're measured in hands. They're herd animals. They don't like to be alone. That much I know. And because of the way their eyes are positioned on their heads, like I've on the sides, on the sides of their heads, they have almost 360-degree viewpoint. They can very nearly see all the way around them. So again, that's like another defense mechanism, really, isn't it? Because they're able to see danger coming from any angle. So I'm going to try and replicate the chestnut colour we've got on this horse. I haven't quite got the right colour pencil, so I'm just going to be mixing colours as I go and see what we end up with. Might get a gingery colour, could end up brown, who knows? And where I've sketched in those lines to show the form of the skull, that's indicating to me where I need to build up darker tones as well.
This is looking pretty good.
You happy so far?
Yeah.
Nice.
Looks a bit triangle-y, but
Michael's gone for your abstract way of working again, haven't you? It works with a horse. There are lots of angles and clear lines and definitions. I guess because they're short-haired as well, you can see more of the detail of their body shape. If they were fluffy, you wouldn't see as much.
Yeah.
So as I go, I rub out some of my guidelines because I don't want them to show through the colour. Anyone else got some horsey facts? Anybody else know something interesting about horses? I did read that they have done a study and horses can recognise emotional states of people by their facial expressions, which is interesting. Hannah, I've never walked behind horses. Yes, that is a very good tip. So again, because they're prey animals, they defend themselves with their rear legs. So if something walks behind them and they can't see it, so it's maybe goes into their blind spots, so they can't quite see entirely behind them, and it might be instinctive to them to protect themselves from whatever is behind them. It could be a threat, and their way to do that is obviously to kick out with their back legs, and that is very, very dangerous. I know that you can end up with really serious injuries from that, and even potentially a horse could kill you with their kick. So although they're not, got big sharp teeth and claws, they can still be quite dangerous animals if you don't know what you're doing around them. They intimidate me, if I'm honest. They're so big as well. They're powerful animals. And unfortunately, I've got a very early childhood memory of my sister being bitten by a horse. And although they hadn't got sharp teeth, they've got blunt teeth, they're big and they can do a lot of damage. So that's kind of stuck with me. It was her 10th birthday, and we were petting a horse in a field, and it just turned around and bit her. Obviously, we didn't know the behaviour of the horse, and we didn't know if we were doing anything, or we acted in a way that threatened it for it to have bitten out. There must have been a reason, but she spent a long time being terrified of horses after that, and I became quite weary. I went horse riding once. Yes, I've done it a couple of times. I think it's fascinating, but it does feel like, wow, if they just wanted to walk off now with me on their back, there's nothing I can really do about it. I've been bitten by a goose, and that was painful. I've been chased. It's funny enough, I've been chased by a flock of geese when I was a little girl, probably even younger than that last memory. So I'm terrified of geese as well.
Wait, why did they chase you?
I had bread, and they were swarming me. And I panicked and I ran away, and it's like in the films where everything goes in slow motion. And then I fell and I was on the floor, and the geese were getting closer, and it was like a scramble. Oh, it was hilarious when I think back on it. But at the time, it was terrifying. My mum's been kicked by a horse when she was a kid because she was too close to its baby. So defending its baby. Yeah. I hope your mum's all right. I bet she felt it. Hannah, this is not looking good. I'll keep working at it, Hannah, because, as you build on it and keep adding details, you might find that you turn your artwork around. You've got to trust the process.
Like my eye is way too close to the edge. Like I can't fit all the colouring in.
You've done what I've done with the eye. I've run out of room for the ears.
I'm gonna try and.
Now I see a little grey in his nose. So I picked up a brown. No, it's a grey I want. So I'm going to sketch in some grey tones for the nostril.
There we go.
I've been kicked by a horse in the stable. He was already a naughty horse, but I was trying to get his travel boots on and he kicked me. Ouch. Can I post it? Your picture, Hannah? Yeah, if you want to put a photo up in the comments, if you're able to do that whilst we're live, then feel free. If I can see it, I'll give you some guidance on how to improve it if you want. Freya's been bitten by a horse. So it wasn't just... Has it put Freya off of horses, though, like it did my sister? I mean, to the point where even when she passed her driving test and would be driving around, if she pulled up in traffic next to someone who had a horse box, she would be trying to physically get away from it, even though it was contained in a box and she was in a car. She was terrified. This is your Auntie Sarah. She's going to kill me for telling everyone this. I just won't tell her. Yeah, so it did cause quite a fear in her, unsurprisingly, really. So this grey continues down into his muzzle as well. Into muzzle? Is it a muzzle on a horse? His mouth. We'll say his mouth. How do you do it? So you'd need to take a photo on a phone and then add a comment as a picture. You may not be able to do it on a live. I'm not entirely sure. I've never tried it. But in the same way that if you were posting your image to get feedback from me, you might be able to do it. If it only lets you write comments, then I don't think you'll be able to do it. I've had a horse nibbling at my clothes before. I thought it was goats that did that. I didn't realise horses did it as well. Going with a darker brown around the lips to add that definition, and same with the nostril. I think I've made his nostril too small. I need to go bigger. See, as I'm going, I'm adjusting and changing my picture anyway. You sound out of breath, Michael. All that shading.
Yeah. just realised I've done too much with the colour I was.
I don't know. I quite like your shading.
Yeah, no, I didn't do the leave space for the nose.
Oh, well, you can draw it on top, can't you? Just add it in.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So I'm using the dark brown now to sort of go back, you know, where I've got these sketched raised bits. I'm going to add in darker tones to it as well, like it shows on the photo. My horse likes to unzip my coat. They're quite clever, aren't they? Problem solvers. There's a horse that lives near me, so I go feed it sometimes. I'm using pastel. Oh, wow. Well done, Hannah. Pastel can be quite tricky to control and also to get the fine detail. So well done for using a different medium. Didn't really like the image you chose, so I'm doing a different one. Don't apologise. That's absolutely your prerogative. I needed a clear image where I could see the details, and I quite like the way the light is reflecting on this horse. But if you've got a different one to work from, that is absolutely fine. I look forward to seeing it. Is it a different colour as well? How are we doing for time? Not too bad, but I do think I need to get a wriggle on a bit. Now, I've done that thing where I put down the pencil I was using for the colour, and now I can't remember don't know if I've got the right one, so we'll see. I hope it looks like the same colour. That's why I normally have my Edward Scissorhands thing going on and hold them all at the same time. So that doesn't happen, but I didn't. It looks right. We'll go with it. Can I see Michael's drawing? Somebody's asked. So you're happy to? Yeah. So Michael's going with his abstract way of drawing again. You can see the eye. I can see where you sketched in the mane and the ears as well. And the nose, you're adding it in because you've forgot space for the eyes, didn't you? But I love the colours, the way you're mixing the colours, Michael. That looks cool. Keep going. Daisy's going for a white horse. Oh, wow, that's a challenge sometimes. White animals. You'd think it would be easy to draw a white animal, but I think it's harder personally. I think it's like drawing a black animal. It's trickier because you think, oh, there's hardly anything to do, but it's that shadow and tone you've got to create. So it's not, you don't just leave a white space. Oh, they're saying amazing. Wow, good job, Michael. Oh, you made him smile.
It's hard to make me smile.
No, it's not. No, I've done it again. I put down the dark brown that I was using. Is it this one? I think it was. Crop it off, Anna. You can see the bottom of the page.
I want to try and put a hat on him.
A hat on your horse?
Yeah.
What sort of hat? Cowboy hat?
Yeah, maybe.
A top hat?
Yeah. I'll make this new colour. Does it look like the same though?
My horse is called Buckles. Oh, that's a cute name. I like that. What am I going to go with? I was going to go with Chester just because he's chestnut coloured. I don't know if that's very imaginative though. When you said you don't, it's difficult to make you smile. Have you said it? Emily and Freya said Michael and Elliot are smiling every Wednesday when we see them. Yeah, at farm school. They're very smiley. Somebody else commented this morning how smiley Elliot is. I said, do you know why that is? Because they don't go to school.
Yeah.
My horse is called Duke. Is that how you say it? Have I said that correctly? That's cool. It's a cool name. I want to get some lighter tones in as well now. It's a Spanish horse name. It was one of the horses you used to ride. Oh, calling mine Dutch. Like it. Have you got a name yet, Michael, for yours?
Probably I'm just going to call it another Star Wars name, to be honest.
Based on Star Wars again. Oh, the new series of Mandalorian came out, so
yeah.
slightly obsessed.
Maybe Boba Fett.
I was going to say Boba. Just call him Boba.
I like the Fett though. It makes the name. It's not green though. It doesn't have green armor. Maybe I could add green armor.
You can put green armor on your horse.
Yeah. I'll just put a helmet on him.
But then you won't see the horse. You put a helmet on.
So he could have a gun.
My horse is called Valentine's because she was born on Valentine's Day. Oh, how lovely. Mine's Cloppy. I like that too. You guys are so imaginative.
So, actually, maybe I don't.
Mine really is not imaginative, is it, Chester?
Yeah. No, Acorn? No, it's not really a name, is it?
Anything can be a name if you want it to be.
Yeah. I don't think I'll put a green one.
I'm getting a bit sketchier with my colour because I think I'm going to need a fair amount of time with the watercolour aspect in a bit. So I'm kind of getting on my rush on a little bit. Michael, call it Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good suggestion. I'm calling mine Arion. Ooh, that's a new name. I've not heard that before. And we had two horses, one called Prince and the other called Molly. Oh, Bailey's done already. Wow. Well done, Bailey. Don't forget, again, Joe will be putting on the post around about 6 o'clock this evening. So that's your opportunity if you want feedback from me.
Oh, I know. Bobo Vader.
Khaled. Say again, sorry, Michael?
I know, Bobo Vader.
Boba Vader. I'll merge the two names together.
Yeah. That's a weird name.
Now I've got to try and get some of this mane in. I think I'm going to have a base colour. So long pencil strokes for the mane to give the impression of that hair. And I'm going with like a base colour of my lighter brown that I've been using. Oh, that's all ear, isn't it? I need this colour. And I'm calling mine Pixie. Nice. Mine's done as well. Oh my goodness. So speedy. I've never ridden a horse before. Oh, I recommend it. It is cool. It's a little bit intimidating, but it is cool.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I just don't. I've got a feeling he's going to start running and then like you just kick at the back.
Bye, Bailey. Thank you for joining us. We're here again next week. Next week we're doing a goldfish, which is just something very, very different. So.
Oh, we need gold.
No, we need more than gold.
Oh, and orange.
So that'll be a cool one. I've never drawn a fish before, so not like that anyway. So it will be an interesting one for us. Hannah, it's not Hannah. I can't think who it is. But they've asked, does Michael play Minecraft?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I'd let him answer that. Yes, he does.
I play all the time. I also do.
I play Minecraft at weekends. Yeah, you tend to play it when you're at Dad's, don't you?
Yeah, I've got it. I've got my laptop, but it's quite tricky on the laptop because it's buttons.
Not entirely happy with this mane. It looks a bit like a person's hair rather than a horse's hair. I need to mess it up a little bit. We're getting there. How you doing, Michael?
Good. This is meant to be copper, but it doesn't really look like copper.
I'd say that's looking like a copper colour.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to add some gold.
Did you know a violin bow is made of wood and horsehair? Oh, I did know that. Well, somewhere in my deep, dark memory, I did know that, but you've just reminded me. So thank you for sharing that info. Well, Pippi drawing's like a real horse. Oh, thank you. You guys are so blooming kind, aren't you? Love it. I'm hoping it will look better once I've mixed and blended the colours on the water. I'm just not happy with the mane, to be honest. I just don't think that looks right. It looks like a bowl haircut. It looks a bit too neat. I think I needed to look a little bit more carefully about the direction of the hair. I'm not too happy with it, but I'll spend a little bit more time adjusting it, and then I'm going to get the paintbrush out and see if I can improve it that way. Gemma, bye. Had fun. See you next week. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
Damn. Oh, wait, no. I've got a massive chunk.
Right. I think I'm going to go in with some paintbrushes. See what we can do. I always start with the eye. I think just because I know I want to spend a decent amount of time on the eye. I don't want to have to rush it. So if I do it first, I know that I can make that a focus.
Something's missing.
If you're using watercolour, just remember, don't load your brush up too much. If you make it too watery, it's really hard to control the movement of the paint. So barely any water on the brush and just keep topping it up. Keep going back to the water rather than load it all up and then have paint all over your page. Mine is eating grass. Oh, that's a good way of making a creative development to it. Yours is so good, Pip. Oh, thank you. I have had a few years practice though, so don't compare yourself. Don't look at yours and go, because we've all got our own sense of style. And it really is with art, the more you practice, the better you get at it. It is just a case of spending time each week practicing your art. So I've noticed, because as a grown-up, it becomes more difficult to find time to do this sort of stuff and to give your hobbies the time they need. So what I've found from when we started doing these draw-alongs, my art has got better already. So you can never be finished at getting better with your artwork. You can continually be improving. And because I just didn't have time before to do artwork, and it's only because I'm making time by doing these sessions, I can see already, if I go back, what was the first one we did? Was it the tree frog? I think that was, yeah. And I think if I compare this paint drawing to the tree frog, I can see that my style has improved just in a few weeks.
Done.
You're finished?
Yeah.
Cool.
My hand is really hurting.
Do you want me to show, Michael?
Yeah, finish. Yeah.
Michael is done. So we've got, what's this hat that's going on?
A magic hat.
A magic, wizarding hat.
It's like a fox.
It's got angles like a fox, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But I can see that it's your interpretation of horse. Well done, darling. I really like the colour mix you've got there. Thank you for having me. You're welcome. Always welcome. So thank you for joining us and keeping us company. And we'll see you next week. If you've got a shoot, that's cool. I know some people have got other lessons or things that they need to get on with. So you don't if you're finished, don't feel like you have to hang around if you don't want to. I'm just going to be finishing off my one. And so you're looking for the photo that Joe uploads. It'll be the photo of my finished drawing. Will be loaded up to Facebook, and that's your prompt to add on a photo of your work in the comments section, and then I can write your feedback for you. I mean, quite careful not to lose these defined lines whilst I'm adding the water, because it could be easy to sort of blend it all together and lose that definition. I don't want to do that. You can tell I'm concentrating because I've gone quiet. I'm suddenly not chatting away. Mine looks like a donkey. But that's close enough. You just tell everyone you drew a donkey. No one will know. Oh, I've got another interesting fact about horses. Their hooves are made from keratin, which is the same stuff that our hair and nails are made from. Same as a rhino's horn. We did about that before, didn't we? When we drew the rhino.
Looks more realistic with the water on.
It does, doesn't it? I think because, so when you add the water, it creates loads more tones because you're mixing and blending different colours together. So it helps to make a picture even more real looking.
I bet it's hard though when you're painting and you've got big white bits you don't want to paint. It's like gets on them.
Yeah, so you got. That's why I say don't load your brush up too much, because then you've got better control over where the colours go.
Yeah.
If the paintbrush is too wet, the water just spreads out. Yeah, it just runs free. You do not want to happen. Starting to, I don't know what everyone's weather's doing your end. Like I'm talking, it's very British, isn't it? Let's talk about the weather. But this morning I thought, oh, there's a lot more sunlight coming through, and I thought, oh, it's starting to feel like spring is springing. We have had a lot of cold weather.
That's a tongue twister.
I need to start planting some seeds soon. What should we grow this year?
Tomatoes.
Yep.
I love tomatoes.
We didn't do so well on tomatoes last year. Courgettes always do brilliantly. I've still got a freezer drawer full of courgette soup.
Did cucumbers?
Cucumbers didn't work so well.
Sweet corn was good, wasn't it? Sweet corn in the old house was quite good, wasn't it? Definitely flowers.
How are we doing for time? Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. I think I got the colour down quite quickly on this one today. So that's another sign that my drawing is progressing, because I'm getting to the point where I want to a lot quicker. Whereas a few weeks ago I'd have thought I'm not going to have time to do this. Mine's called Bits and Bobs. What, your horse? That's cool. Goodbye. Thank you. Oh, I didn't realise you were there, Mark. Thanks for joining us. And Emily and Freya, we planted garlic and onions at our allotment. Have you already planted them? Aren't they good for keeping away some of the pests as well if you plant onions? Am I right in thinking that?
Does it make that?
It can protect some of your other crops by planting onions around them. I did plant onions last year and they didn't grow. Well, they grew, but they were so small. I couldn't even do anything with them.
Yeah, it depends what type of season or like kind of what's it called? Weather it is, because we can't really grow oranges.
For us, yeah, that's true. We can't. You can, you can't. So anything that needs really hot weather, we would struggle with. So citrus fruits would. Last year we hadn't been living in this house long enough, so we hadn't really prepared the beds enough for our liking. So things didn't grow very well.
Yeah.
We tried. We had lots of courgette. That was a success. Oh, and then we had a whole flower bed of broccolis and lettuces and stuff, and we had an infestation of caterpillars, and over 24 hours the whole lot was eaten. There were thousands of caterpillars.
Oh,
they were everywhere, weren't they?
We couldn't get the quail to eat all of them.
Yeah, they did feed some of our quail, to be fair.
It was obviously because they're green caterpillars. They get confused because it looks like the plant.
No, they would eat insects anyway, the quail.
Yeah,
you watch them.
I
see.
I'm just saying, it's if they like camouflage,
Oh, sorry, Toby. So right, yeah, I can't promise I'll remember that, but Toby, not Mark. Freya's horse is called Archie. That's a cute name. Last year you had lots of marrows. What did you do with all your marrows? You run out of ideas. You had too many of the same thing, because that's why I've got loads of courgette soup. It's a nice soup, to be fair. I added cheese to it.
If you can't find any soup, got some courgette.
I'm putting off doing the main because I don't like the main. Let's see. I've got to get it done.
What? Not putting water on it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. We'll give it a go, haven't I?
I think without the water on the mane, it looks very more realistic.
You think?
Yeah, that's the mane's hair, isn't it? It's not, because otherwise it's just camouflage.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
Yeah.
it's got to look like hair strands rather than, well. So I'm going to try something. Wish me luck. No, it needs to be a bigger brush. You gave lots to friends and neighbours, yep. Normally, I used to give my courgettes to my mum, but she grew them this year as well, so she had loads and surplus, and lots of courgette soup as well.
I don't know why courgettes grow so good.
I don't know. They're obviously quite a hardy vegetable, because if I didn't manage to kill them off, then that's quite an achievement.
Yeah, maybe we're great at growing courgettes. I'm sure you do.
So to try and keep what you were saying, Michael, was that if I put the water on, it's not going to look like hair anymore.
Yeah.
So you can see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to keep the brush strokes long, just in the same way that's how I drew it.
I think if I was you, I'd leave it.
What you say, Michael? Does this look rubbish?
No, I'd leave it, that's all.
I can't. It looks too mixed to me. So it's got as in that's too obviously pencil line, and I want it to look like a painting.
Maybe delicately put water on it.
Yeah.
Like super delicately. Then it still looks like hair, doesn't it? And I want to say, go back where you was drawing it, and then just follow those lines.
Exactly that. That's exactly what I'm doing. Trying to anyway. It's looking a little bit better now with the brush strokes. It's looking less like it's been cut with scissors. I'm holding my breath as I do this. I wouldn't recommend that when you're drawing.
That's what I do sometimes. I'm gonna be so concentrated. I've got to hold my breath. It's because you're scared.
I think I'm going to finish early on this one. There's me thinking, I'm going to struggle because it's a horse and there's lots of detail.
It's because you're like scared just in case you do the wrong thing.
Yeah, this is the point where I ruin it.
It's quite good.
Oh, thank you. High praise indeed from you.
Did you do these?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've cropped the top of them off.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And that, when I write your feedback later, you'll notice I always try and give something for you to work on. So it's not just positive comments. It will be a next time try and do this to help you develop and improve your art skills. My comment to myself would be make sure you position or plan out your drawing so you can get all of the features in. It's definitely a weakness of mine, I think. I've done it a few times, haven't I? Oh no, those last couple of lines, I couldn't help myself, could I? I've got to make his mane longer now so it all matches up. Oh no.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Someone stop me.
Stop it.
It does get like that. You're like, I just changed that. Oh no, I just changed that. So what I'm going to do, because I've got a bit of time left, is try and build up some darker tones again. So like the eye doesn't look as dark to me as it does on the image. So I'm just going to add in some more darker tone just by going in with the black pencil. And this is again something I do, and then I go, no, shouldn't have done that. I should have just left it alone. Also, if you add some more darker tones and leave some small parts white, then it will look a lot more realistic. Exactly that. Yep. That's another comment I tend to write on feedback. Erin's done. Can we draw an animal from Curly's farm? Yes, actually. Emily and Freya, if you've got a decent camera, you've got a task, because next term we are doing mythical creatures. And I've started planning that out. And what we've got to do for the mythical creatures is study existing animals and look at how we can take those features. Now, there's one animal or a mythical creature, I've forgotten the name of it now, but it's one we're doing later on in the term, and it's part lion, part snake, and part goat. So if you want to draw an animal from Curly's farm, Emily and Freya, if you can get me a picture of who's the gold, there's a Guernsey goat at Curly's farm. Pancake.
I was going to say,
If you can get a really good photo of Pancake, we can use him in that draw along.
Also maybe Loki. Because Loki's like got the horns, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's got like horns and
Oh,
I don't know if he's...
Well, maybe we get a few photos and I'll pick the best one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pip. Love the draw along. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. And then that's it. Manticore. Yeah. That's the one. I've got goats. Oh, so you could use reference your own goats for that one as well, which would be cool. Yes. So basically, we're going to be doing a dragon. We're going to be doing a unicorn or Pegasus, or even a combination of the two.
That'd be cool.
We're doing a griffin. We're doing the Manticore, that one, and then the last one will be you're going to create your own mythical creature. So what we're doing, obviously, is we're still using reference pictures to make it look as realistic as possible. So we're still going to use photos of animals, and we're going to. It's a new challenge because we've got to use the reference pictures to come up with a new composition, really, of the animal. So I'm quite looking forward to that because it's going to be. I can't wait to see everyone's creatures. To be fair, especially the ones that you're creating, the ones you're making up yourself, and drawing inspiration from the natural world and actual existing animals to do it, which I think would be very cool. Bit of fun. And that was because somebody suggested doing, was it a dragon? Somebody asked to do a dragon. And I said, oh, well, we can't, I haven't got a photo of a dragon. And then we said, oh, but hang on. You can look at lizards and stuff. And I'm thinking if we look at a bat's wings to create the wings, that leathery look, that would be quite similar to what I imagine a dragon could look like. I haven't seen one in real life. I'll let you know if I do.
I think that's all right now.
Are you trying to tell me to stop? I know you're like, Mum, stop working on it. You're going to muck it up.
Yes.
I can
exactly what
feel your worry. I can't help myself.
Stop yourself. Keep the other arm and pull it away.
My granddad has 5 horses. That is a lot of horses. I think the lion goat snake is called a chimera. Oh, that might be it as well. I'm not sure now. No, yes. One of those is a lion's body and a man's head. And I didn't want to do that because I don't like drawing people. So I went with the other one. So it's whichever one it's the lion, goat and snake. So you're probably right, Jen. I don't know. I know I recognise the name. I just went, oh yeah, that must be it. See you later, Emily and Freya and Jill. I look forward to seeing your artwork later. And bye from Pi. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm just adding some just darker details now to make things pop out a little bit more. But I think I'm done, really. I think I need to. I think Michael's right. Just stop, Mum, before you muck it up.
What are you doing?
I can't. It's like I'm possessed. I can't help myself. Some more definition in the hair.
What are you doing?
Bye from Claudia. It's not Claudia though, is it? I can't remember who it is. Okay, I'm going to stop. Remember, did you sign your picture, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to put our signatures on it, haven't we? For it to count as a work of art. I've lost my pencil. There it is. So that's my little horse Chester. Let's get rid of some of those pencil lines that I don't need anymore. I'm actually quite pleased with him. I didn't think he was going to do too well when I cropped his ears off at the beginning, but he looks okay as a horse. There we go. I'm quite pleased with him, actually. You can see where those darker lines help to make it look more 3D and realistic, don't they? Cool. So Joe's put the manticore is the body of a lion, tail of a scorpion, and the face of a man. The chimera is lion, goat, snake. Yes. So I did look at the manticore because I remember looking at the scorpion tail, but I just thought I don't want to do the face of the man. So it's the chimera that we'll be doing. So yes, next week though, that's not till next term, so that's after Easter. But next week we're going to be doing the goldfish, and then the last one of this term is going to be a bunny rabbit, which is just before we break for our Easter break. So I've purposely timed that because I think bunnies are what we associate with Easter quite a lot, isn't it? So if you can make them, that'd be awesome to see you all again. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing week. Thanks for joining us both. We love it. And I will see you next Monday.
Yeah.
Or not see you. You know what I mean. We'll speak virtually online next week when we'll be doing the goldfish. So again, if you want to use your own reference picture, then feel free. It might be that you don't want to do a goldfish. You want to change the fish. You might want to do a koi carp or something. It's entirely up to you. But ours is just a standard goldfish. I'll put the reference picture up in the event as well. See you later. Have a lovely week. Bye.